Today, I'd like to talk about breathy tone versus focused tone. Singing with breathy tone can be a big problem for teenagers. This is because the voice and the body parts that make the sound have recently changed or are currently changing in size and in strength. And you may no longer be clear on how to use them compared to when you were a child. So let's work on that. Let's learn what they are trying to do so that we can help them do them correctly. Interesting fact, if we don't take this step to understand the body, it will figure out a way, any way, to get the singing done. But it might not sound or feel the way you wish it would sound and feel. Breathy tone versus focused tone. Breathy tone has less pitched tone and more air in it. It sounds windy. More focused tone has no wasted air and no wind sounds, so it sounds clear. Ah, ah, ah. Sometimes we want breathy tone and sometimes we want focused tone. So let's figure out how we make those different choices. Here is how we will think of the voice parts. This is an anatomical model of the larynx, trachea, and top of the lungs. Here's my larynx and trachea. This is a model of the cartilage of the larynx. We can feel that here. Inside the larynx, you can see the tissue, the muscles, and the cartilage. Notice the folds almost touching in the middle. For now, and for most singing exercises, we will limit our focus to the vocal folds by using our hands to picture them as they vibrate. There are three main parts to singing tone: onset and use of the folds, airflow, and audiating. Audiating. Let's learn some definitions. This is the technical part of today's lesson. Onset is the starting of sound in your throat by passing air across your folds, which then begin vibrating and moving in that airflow. Vibration is the folds moving. Air is going to be pushed up by the body from the lungs and it's going to push apart the hands, and they will cycle. That's one cycle. The starting of this is called onset, and the use of it is called vibration. Airflow, the air coming out of the lungs through the larynx, which causes the folds to move. We call their movement vibration. Audiating. Audiating is the clear and precise imagining, hearing, thinking about inside your head the tone that you would like to produce when you sing. Doing this well causes the folds to set up for vibrating and causes us to find the right amount of air to feed through the larynx and affect the folds. So the voice is a little bit like a small machine. There's muscles working on air that send air through a narrowed opening, causing that narrowed opening to start moving. That makes a sound, and the sound gets amplified by our body, by our mouth and our throat. This is a small machine, a clown horn. Clown number 1 lifts a hand to squeeze the bulb. The little vibrating part here in the middle is in the right position because some engineer or designer put it there. It's in the right position to be affected by the air coming out of the bulb. The bulb is the right shape by design for someone to squeeze it and to send the right amount of air out. The bell of the horn is designed to amplify that sound to make it louder. We are more complicated than a clown horn, but we are essentially the same. We have muscles in our belly and in our back and under our ribs which are ready to squeeze the air out of our lungs. We have two folds in the throat that are located where that air will pass through, and it will cause them to vibrate. Squawk! And we have a throat and a mouth and lips and teeth and tip of the tongue that are ready to turn that squawk, squawk from our neck into a sentence like, I really hate clowns. Here's where the breathy tone part comes in. If you don't set up your folds correctly, they may allow extra air to escape through them unused. This will sound like there's wind in the singing tone. You can imagine that part of the two folds are touching and part of them are not touching. The part that's touching is vibrating correctly, and this part has air escaping through without being used. If that was happening in our clown horn, we'd say it was broken, and we'd try to fix the little flap in the middle so that it vibrated correctly. We would tell the repair person that the horn no longer functions as it was designed to function. With singing, since it's our body, we can't repair it, but we can learn how to avoid leaving a gap in the folds. In other words, we can design and organize the shape of our body to be perfect for making the required sound at any given moment. Good work. Now that technical vocabulary learning is done and we can get to singing. But today when we sing, I'd like to challenge you to think differently about the processes that are happening inside your body to make the sounds you produce. Let's find the folds. We'll do that by producing a glottal attack. Ah, ah. That's a glottal attack. What is it? It's the folds slamming together and rubbing together to make a sound. Can you do it with me? Ah, ah, ah. We use it all the time when we're speaking in English. Can you hear the glottal attacks in this question? What is a glottal attack used for in English? What is a glottal attack used for in English? Let's experiment with glottal attacks. Start with a loud glottal attack and do a few of them in a row. As you're going, decide to relax. Ah, 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 ah. Now try to do them quieter and quieter using a diminuendo. You'll eventually find a small clicking sound. This is the sound of your opening and closing folds. Ah, 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 ah. Important idea. Notice that if I had said, open and close your folds, go, you would not have been able to do it. Instead, we thought about the sounds that we wanted to experiment with. We audiated them, audiating, and the body responded. Now let's sing a 5-note scale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, on ah. And please sing it with a breathy tone. Ah. Is your tone breathy? To produce a breathy tone, try audiating a sultry diva from the 1950s singing Happy Birthday, Happy birthday, Mr. President. Or you could try being out of breath while you sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All kinds of extra air was going through. We'll do 5 of these scales. Notice how your throat feels. Is it drying to sing this way? Does it feel easy? Does it feel lazy? Could you do it more quietly and still achieve that breathy tone? As you're singing the scale, picture your voice doing this. Picture your folds having a gap and part of it vibrating. Now we're going to sing the same scale but with a glottal attack at the beginning of each ah in the descending scale. Ah, 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 ah. Let's close our hands all the way for each glottal attack. Ah, 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 ah. That way we're picturing the folds closing all the way. What does it feel like? Ah, 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 ah. What does it sound like? Ah, 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 ah. Ah, 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 ah. Could you hear and feel any differences in your tone? It's probably much clearer tone and a bit louder too. For both of those exercises, I asked you to picture your breathy tone or picture your glottal attack before singing. That was audiating. We'll now do a slightly more complicated amount of audiating. All the feelings you've noticed while you were singing are clues to asking for a focused tone or a breathy tone, for a type of tone. That's the task of audiating. Let's pretend we're playing hide and seek and you are it. You have 2 sentences that you might need to say. Ollie, ollie, in come free. Or, darn it, where can they be hiding? If you say Ollie, then you'll need to use a loud voice that carries so everyone comes in. If you say darn it, you'll mumble under your breath so that they can't tell that you're frustrated. We're going to sing those 2 phrases as if we're doing recitative in an opera, a silly opera. So it goes like this. Ollie, ollie, in come free. Your turn. The next phrase is, darn it, where can they be hiding? Darn it, where can they be hiding? And we will alternate those 2 phrases. Like this. Ollie, ollie, in come free. Darn it, where can they be hiding? Ollie, ollie, in come free. Darn it, where can they be hiding? Ollie, ollie, in come free. Darn it, where can they be hiding? What are you noticing in your body? What are you noticing in your thoughts, in your throat, in your belly, in your air? Is your air moving differently for the different 2 phrases? Let's sing a few more and continue noticing. Where can they be hiding? Ollie, ollie, in come free. right, one more exercise with glottal attack at the beginning. I would like focused tone throughout. No more breathy tone in this one. Oh, oh, ho, ho, oh. Glottal, glottal, H, H, glottal, and focused tone all the way. Important idea. Audiating is a multi-step process. First we have a thought, then the body gets ready to sing, then we breathe, and then we sing. If you've never been aware of this process, it will take some time to let it all happen. Your habit has been to do something on automatic, and I'd like you to stop doing that and to do something more diligently. So please slow down this exercise as we're going. It's complicated, especially the first few times. Once you're good at it, you can speed it up and show off your virtuosity. That's what virtuosity is. It's someone who can do a complicated maneuver. And singing is definitely a complicated maneuver, and do it as if it's easy, with no sweat on their brow and no strain on their face and no grunting sounds. It's just a piece of cake. But that's only because that person worked super hard to make it easy by practicing diligently. Oh, oh, ho, ho, oh. 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 Do you find yourself getting tired? We're asking our folds to work very hard, and I wouldn't continue singing this way much longer. So go have fun with that. Give yourself space to study the process. When that feels easy, you may speed it up. And again, a reminder not to do glottal attacks for too much longer on any given day than we just did, because you'll start to feel tired. Great. Have a great week. Bye.